What's going on, everybody? I'm here to talk about Scovillain, an absolutely sick Pokemon. But before I get into anything regarding what you're seeing on screen, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Shout out to you. Don't click off the video. You can pause it and check the description down below. There is a lot of information about what this ROM hack is, how it's balanced, my approach to things. There's a lot of links that you can check out after you're done with this video, so it doesn't mess up the watch time. A whole bunch of stuff in there. There is text description or video description of what the hack is and how it works in basic bullet points, so you can give that a read. It's very important. So yeah, give the video a pause and then check it out. Also drop a like while you're at it. And if you like this type of hack, or this seems interesting to you, or you like my videos, all that stuff, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that as well. I'm trying to hit 2K at the time of uploading this. And also, if you're a returning viewer, shout out to you. I appreciate you as well. With that all out of the way, again, if you are new here, I really seriously read the description. It'll answer a lot of your questions that you might be having by looking at this. Yeah, Scovillain, he's sick. Man, I love this guy. He's so cool. It sucks that he is very not good in vanilla, although in game, I mean, he'd be okay because you can get up stun a lot easier and it's easier to use that type of thing. But yeah, he's got 3 great abilities, one for speed and of course offense, and then one for offense outright, like just a straight up boosting ability, and then one for intimidate, one for defensive / utility, with Prankster turning into Intimidate on evolution, which is super sick. He's also got really cool signature moves / exclusive moves. Bitter Blaze is exclusive on maybe a handful of Pokemon, and then Spicy Extract is signature. Very, very powerful tool. I mean, it makes his what you might look at his bulk and think it's kind of middling. You might even think his stats are middling looking at this if you don't know anything about the hack or how it works or how the Pokemon function. You might look at this and think, he's kind of mid. He's still kind of slow, still not that bulky, and still not that strong. But again, if you think about it for like a little bit, you'll realize, oh my god, wait, this guy's strong. He can be super fast. He's got great utility. Obviously, 75 base speed in competitive is not a very good speed stat, but in game, if you do end up using your choice scarf on this guy, keep in mind there is item clause intended, so you get 1 choice scarf per boss fight. But if you end up using a choice scarf slot on Scovillain, then he's very fast. 75 base speed. I mean, I can run the speed calcs if you want, but yeah, why not? I'll run it real quick. Actually, I don't have a calc tab open, and I don't want to open my tabs and accidentally leak something, so I'll just leave it alone. Just you can go check it out for yourself if you're curious, but he is pretty damn fast. He'll outspeed a lot of stuff with Scarf, so you can use that with Instinct to get that +1 and then +1 speed, or you can use him in Sun if you need to outspeed things. And then of course defensively he's great. Grass Fire has some really good resists. Not to mention, obviously, we all know it's good offensively. I also give him a good amount of dragon moves. You might have noticed that. I think it's cool, some Pokemon giving them like a pseudo 3rd or 2nd typing by the move pool, as opposed to like obviously changing the type, because obviously Scovillain doesn't make sense to be an actual dragon type. It's just cool to give him some dragon moves because I think that does fit his appearance and his vibes overall. So that's why he's got stuff like Dragon Dance, and even early on you've got like Arcane Fangs and Dragon Breath on evolution. Arcane Fangs being 85 base power, draining move, like Giga Drain, physical dragon type Giga Drain. Stronger as well, but you get the point. It's a very cool move. Dragon Pulse, 100 base power, Outrage, all this fun stuff. Breaking Swipe as well for debuffing the opponent, which works really well with Intimidate, especially before you get access to Spicy Extract. Again, Spicy Extract, as you can see, is a flinch guaranteed burn move. It's 1 PP, so you basically switch it in. Intimidate can help you switch in even easier versus a physical attacker, although there is the risk of critting there, not to mention, a bunch of crit moves in the game might crit through your Intimidate, but regardless, Intimidate is still very useful, especially if you happen to have a Battle Armor or Shell Armor Pokemon on your team, but in general, it's still a good ability if you're able to weigh the risks of the crit. But point is, you can send him in and then click Spicy Extract. Not only does that break any sashes, guaranteed, gives you a little bit of chip damage from the burn and the 10 base power, because it might sound super weak, but I mean 10 base power with stab plus an instinct boost potentially, plus maybe a boosting item, like you can actually do some decent damage with Spicy Extract. And you can also run a bit of Assault Vest, which is kind of cool, with like Assault Vest, Bitter Blaze plus Spicy Extract for some good special bulk. And then of course the burn, will cripple any physical attacker, but it's only once per fight, so you can only cripple 1 physical attacker. It's still a pretty much guaranteed cripple on any physical attacker that isn't either immune to burn or priority. Which, a decent amount are, but it's still a very, very good tool for a lot of boss fights just to send him in. And it's pretty damn early, too. Level 35, if you look at the level caps, you can check out at what point all these things are legal. You have these early game bosses, but, it's like pretty early mid-game, maybe closer to the mid-game you get access to it, which is pretty generous, honestly. I really like Scovillain, and I wanted him to be useful, not just offensively, but defensively. So giving him that Spicy Extract super early, super, super cool. he's really a cool mon, dude. I like him a lot. Obviously, Instinct is incredibly powerful. You might look at the 108s and think it's kind of mid, but at +1, it's incredibly powerful. And even without the +1, it's strong, man. It's got very high base power moves, all kinds of high base power moves, some good coverage. Obviously, Firegrass is good neutral, but when you're playing against AI, you can prep and teach specific coverage moves to hit specific Pokemon on the AI's team for each boss fight because you do have that move relayer. So it's very easy to, you know, tailor your movesets. So again, you can run fully defensive, fully offensive. You also got priority moves in the form of Seed Shot, Pyro Dash, Ignite, and Leaf Flurry with Stab, and then also Sucker Punch and First Impress. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't put it for some reason, but now it's there. Yeah, man, so that's all really strong priority. Of course, the 4 stab ones on the physical and special side are very good. Defensively, you can run like Spicy Extract, Leech Seed, Synthesis, Battle Cry, Breaking Swipe, Parting Shot. Spicy Extract is also great. Again, I already covered why Bitter Blaze is great. So you've got great pivot move as well with Parting Shot. It fits his... I've actually been very lenient with... Not lenient, very strict with Parting Shot distribution in terms of flavor because I was way too... I mean, I might end up changing it down the line for AI because it is nice to give them that switch move, but every Pokemon gets at least one for the most part, maybe a few exceptions, because there's 6 in the game. But in this case, Scovillain fits Parting Shot very, very well, in my opinion, so I think he can totally have that. Yeah, I mean, even Capsicid, I didn't cover this yet, but Capsicid is Grass Fire just to make them more interesting, and also because there's no real reason they shouldn't be. Like, technically, I think if you read the decks, it says the redhead is the one that has the fire power or whatever the fuck, but who cares? Like, he can totally just be fire, I think, for just making them feel more fun to use in the early game, as opposed to just being a pure grass. It's more interesting and more fun, and it's the only type combo of this in the game outside of Ogerpon, so pretty cool. Yeah, Prankster, very good early game as well for stuff like Taunt, Parting Shot, mostly those two, but also stuff like, I mean, Prankster, Worry Seed can be good, and Torment. Leer and Fake Tears are also really good moves, as well as Scary Face once you get access to that. Scary Face being a better version of those two. So Leer and Fake Tears drop speed and defense, or special defense, right? So it's -1. So Fake Tears is -1 def and speed, Leer is -1 defense and speed, so that can be really good on like a bulkier set, and you can use that to then outspeed and one-shot the Pokemon that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And you can use that with Prankster or with Instinct. Pretty, and also technically Solar Rush, but it's a bit redundant with Solar Rush spreads. You can also do Manual Sun, or you can set up the Sun with somebody else. Getting up Sun is very easy in game, I mean, versus AI, especially because these weather moves are +1 priority, so they will bypass Taunt on the AI. Unless they have Prankster Taunt or something, but yeah. So that's really useful as well to get up manual weather. And yeah, you've got tons of powerful moves. Obviously late game you've got Draco Meteor type variants, so you've got Blast Burn, Leaf Storm, Frenzy Plant, and Blazing Assault, which are physical and special fire and grass type Draco Meteor variants. Overheat, Seed Flare, and Flare Blitz are all recoil moves, 120 base power. Burn Up is 130, so it's even stronger than Overheat, and it doesn't deal recoil. However, there's the obvious downside that you can't click, you have to switch out once you click Burn Up and to be able to click it again. However, Burn Up also gives a guaranteed burn, so that's also really good. So Burn Up is more of like a utility type thing, but also can be used for burst damage. It's like kind of a weird combo of like Inferno and Blast Burn in that way. However, Blast Burn you can use with Wider. Blast Burn's also much stronger. It's 140 versus 130. Of course, with Stab and the Instinct multiplier or Sun multiplier, it becomes a much more significant power difference between the two moves, despite the only 10 base power difference. Chloroblast is sick, specifically with Solar Rush, but even with like Chloroblast, even with Instinct, you can nuke something with Chloroblast. It's an incredibly powerful move. However, it does cut your HP in half, so you got to be very careful using that. Again, this game is balanced around Teamlocked nuzlockes. If you're watching this far into the video and you're a new viewer and you have no clue what that is, you never heard of that before, again, I said this at the beginning, but I'll say it again, pause the video and leave a comment. And actually do leave a comment, but I meant pause the video and read the description. There's a lot of information elaborating on what that is if you made it this far in. Also, shout out to you. Leave a comment down below if you made it this far into the video. I say this in every video, and I swear to God, nobody ever comments that they made it to the end. So if you made it to the end, if you're hearing these words, leave a comment. Yeah, he's got great coverage. Not super necessary, obviously, but it's, you know, for certain matchups, you'll be teaching those coverage moves to hit specific things. Again, game is balanced to be replayed a bunch with Teamlocked, so you can't just switch your Pokemon and run something else. So the coverage is actually genuinely very useful with Move Relayer. Growth obviously very strong. He also gets Nasty Plot around the same time, but of course Growth can boost your physical attack. Not to mention, Nasty Plot only has 1 PP, while Growth has multiple. So if you're running it in the sun, you can use Growth twice. However, that's also burning up the sun turns, which is why Growth is multiple PP. Because it requires sun to be up and then wastes sun turns to set up. Not to mention +4 is hella overkill. I don't think you'll ever need +4, man. Mostly the PP is dropped just so the AI can abuse these moves better, to be honest. And partially as a nerf for some of them, like the speed boosting ones, I guess. But yeah, it's mostly just a AI thing. Yeah. I mean, that's really it. Wildfire, that is a Wicked Blow variant, same power. Wildfire and Temper Flare are both Wicked Blow variants, so essentially no drawback. Sorry, there is a drawback, but there's no recoil or attack drop or anything like that. The drawback in this case is that you can't use them twice in a row, similar to how Gigaton Hammer works normally. That's how moves like Wildfire, Temper Flare, Wicked Blow, all those variants work, and again, you can see a list of those on the Google Sheet. But yeah, Wildfire is the last one because, I mean, Overheat is more spammable. Like, you can run, like, Specs or Scarf Overheat in either Sun or with Instinct and get multiple kills in a row. But, of course, you're dealing recoil to yourself, which, you know, might limit the amount of kills you can get safely. Probably only 1 or 2. However, Wildfire has no drawback outside of not being spammed twice in a row. But it's still very, very good. So, yeah, it's mostly just to stop, like, spamming it with, like, Specs in the Sun or, like, Scarf, Wildfire, that type of thing. Mostly Scarf is a nerf to that. Yeah, that's really about it. I mean, again, that's kind of pseudo dragon typing. If you pulled Terra Dragon, that'd be super sick on him for flavor. Like, I would love, that'd be so cool. Like, you get the dragon stab, that'd be so dope. But yeah, if you read down below in the description, there's more information about how Terra is supposed to work in this game. Again, you can, it's all intended rules. It's not required. You can play however you want. If you want to pick your Terra type, you can. It's just gonna make the game a lot easier if you pick your Terra type, as opposed to randomizing it and then sticking with it. So yeah, it's really about it. Tons of, I mean, obviously you've got tons of moves early game, but mostly the big thing is that Spicy Extract is very, very useful defensively. Bitter Blaze, healing you, I didn't cover that too much, but I mean, you guys can read, it says it right there. Assault Vest is super cool with that, and other moves as well. Obviously you've got stuff like Parting Shot, Taunt, all these good utility moves, debuffing moves, all this great stuff that he can do. And then of course he can be very fast in the Sun or with a Scarf, or you can run a Quick Claw, so you get 2 speed items really. That you can choose, but of course you might want one of those on another Pokemon. So that's the whole point. Your Pokemon are meant to be diverse. I mean, if you're listening to this far into the video, you notice already that you can switch your abilities at any point, and that's how the game is balanced. So yeah, thank you for listening. Shout out to you if you made it this far. Again, leave a comment. I'm serious. If you made it this far, leave a comment. Appreciate you. Bye.